Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. It is Binky here today, fresh from vacation. So I missed a few uploads, but that's okay. And we are back to 10:15. By the time this gets up, it'll be about 2 or 3 weeks out, but glad to be back. And so we're looking at 10:15, the little collection there that they have. And we are now pulling the actual fragrance 10:15, so that should be fun. Okay, so if there's hectic energy, it's because I am relaxed and ready to be here. So this is what the bottle will look like. I always put it to the side, so we won't stay in that too long. But it has the notes of head note saffron and mandarin, heart note iris violet, base note sandalwood, papyrus, gaiac wood. So yes. Interesting. So let's capture the spirit of the legendary Room 1015, a witness to wild nights, crashing guitars, and stories that shape music forever. Ooh, inside these walls, sound and passion collided, creating something electric and unforgettable. Boom! There you go. Elevate your fragrance game with the touch of counterculture. So that's what this is. I know I kind of did this backwards. Usually I do the notes afterwards, but hey. I'm here, sort of. So interesting. Not really notes that I would normally go for. There's a lot going on there, but I'm not, I'm willing to try things because that's the whole point of this is sometimes you want to try things that you wouldn't normally do. Love sandalwood, papyrus. I love that. Gaiac wood. Love that. So I love iris. I love violet. It's the saffron. I'm not going to lie. It's the saffron. I don't like saffron on me, because it's a little bit questionable. So there you go. So, all right. Nice and beautiful. Actually, that's quite nice. Okay, so the saffron doesn't overtake it, because normally with me, my chemistry loves those notes that could be a little bit, this is dripping, a little bit more challenging. Yeah, like animalaic, human, things like that really love me. So saffron falls into that category a little bit, but right now it's quite lovely. So I'm definitely getting that, that wood. I'm getting that sandalwood, which is interesting because it's base note. I'm not getting as much as the saffron. Nope, there it is. It's lightly, which I like. It's just a kind of, rather than a, which I usually get. So that's beautiful. Definitely getting that sandalwood. Getting all the wood, the papyrus, all of that papery, woody smell. Interesting. I'm really getting a lot of the base note, but let's try it up close. Yep, there's the saffron. Ooh, yeah. It's on the skin. The skin loves it. So definitely getting that. Here I'm getting more wood, I can tell. On my chemistry, and it's moving fast, but that saffron's just like, there you are. And I can smell that up front. That may definitely change because it is the initial spray and it's still morphing. I just sprayed it. So, in an hour, this could be very different. But like I said, I don't normally like saffron notes because they don't tend to wear well on my chemistry, but this one's very beautiful with the wood. Yeah. That being said, I'm getting that sweetness of the sandalwood and the papyrus. It's kind of mellowing out that sweetness. But it's definitely the sandalwood. I'm not getting the florals yet. Not getting the mandarin. Interesting. But that saffron is like, hi. But that's not surprising given my chemistry. But let's try it on the clothing. On the clothing. There we go. That's where you get more of the top note of the mandarin and the saffron. And the sandalwood. So definitely the sandalwood is coming through. That I love sandalwood. That beautiful sweetness of it is gorgeous. But I'm not getting the floral. But I'm definitely getting the woodsy aspect of it. A sweet woodsy. With the mandarin peeking through and cutting through that saffron. Unlike my chemistry, it's saffron. It's saffron with a little bit of woodsiness under it. But I'm not getting that florals, not getting that mandarin, but So here, definitely getting that saffron, the woodsiness, and a little of the mandarin, but I'm not getting the florals yet. But those are the heart notes. That could take a while to develop. You know, I like to give that a good 20 to 60 minutes because it could definitely change. For room 1015, where things happened, you know, it was the party room for a bunch of rock legends. This one seems really tame. Very non-assuming, very tame. Like, I don't think anyone would really bat an eye at this. I think it's a very safe wear, which I didn't expect for, you know, the notoriety of room 1015. You know, I expected more challenging notes, and it's not a judgment in a bad way at all. It's just unexpected, more tame and controlled, and quite wearable actually, which is not what I expected. I thought it would be something a little bit more bombastic, but it's not, and it's not overly powerful. I'm finding with this group that so far nothing is too crazy with it. You know, none of them are strong, overwhelming scents. They tend to stay in this bubble, some even more around here, very personal space bubble. And even if they're a little bit stronger, the notes themselves are not too invasive. You know, they're not going to really annoy anyone around you, if that makes sense. Like, some notes could be a lot, like you use, like, you know, anise or something like that. It could be strong. Cinnamon could be strong. Musk could be. Incense can, depending how they're used, could be more intrusive, I suppose. These scents really tend to stay around here and be very kind of intimate, kind of not earthy, but a little bit. They're just, yeah, I'm finding them not to be exactly what I expected them to be, and it's not a bad thing. It's actually like, oh wow, this is not what I expected, and in a good way. But this one's very wearable thus far. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back in an hour, because I have a feeling this is really going to change. Moving around is quite lovely. I love what it's producing, but I mean, anything with sandalwood for me, it's just like, yeah. So I'm going to check back in an hour, and we'll see where this one has gone. Okay, so it has been an hour. We're more focused, and I can still definitely smell this one. It's a very light one. Again, like I was saying, very light, lighter than I expected it to be, but let's see how this smells. Interesting. So now the saffron is burnt off, which is interesting because usually that doesn't happen for me, but it being the top note, it did dissipate. So I'm definitely getting more of that floral on my chemistry, which is yay. Definitely getting that. No, the saffron's still there. It is still there, but it's taken a back seat, so it's not as prominent, where before it was kind of like saffron hour. This is more, I definitely get the violet and the iris with a little bit, well, a lot of the wood. I definitely get that sandalwood. I love that. And the sandalwood's mixing really well with the papyrus. It's just kind of combining together beautifully, but I get the iris and lily. Mandarin is gone. And then just a little bit of that hum of the saffron, which is really kind of cool, actually, because like I said, saffron is not a note that's always my favorite, nor is it one that always plays well with my chemistry. So the way that this is done is lovely. It's really lovely, but it is a little bit more of a skin scent than I expected at this stage already. And it has been about an hour and a half. I'm going to put that out there. I did grab some lunch, and then I went, oh, so, but let's try it here on the sleeve. Okay, so on the sleeve, it is different. It's more of the florals coming forward, and not so much it's a wood scent, but not so much of the sweetness of the sandalwood. I get more of that on my chemistry. Sandalwood loves me, and I love sandalwood, so it's a great partnership. So it's more of a less sweet wood and papery scent with the florals coming through. Yep. So the beautiful woodsy, less sweet, and then the saffron is on top of it. So the saffron is mixing with the woods, but the sandalwood isn't really the main smells. The papyrus and the gay wood, I think it is. So those are more prevalent than the sandalwood, and then the saffron is still there. There's a little bit of the floral, specifically like the iris or the violet, to break it up a bit, but it's a little bit I don't know. It's not quite as sweet as it is on my own chemistry. I actually prefer it on my chemistry, and a lot of the time I don't, because sometimes my chemistry can be tricky. But it's just, it's not quite as sweet here. Now, I don't know how much longer this is going to last. I'm moving around trying to get it. This one really doesn't have a lot of power to it. This one is definitely a little bit more gentler of all the scents. It probably has some of the least throw. I did to begin with, but it really, the staying power is kind of, I keep doing this to get it to come out a little bit more. But this is definitely a gentler scent. So I don't know if it's going to last the full 5 hours, but you never know. I've been fooled before. So what we're going to do is we are going to check back in about 3.5 hours, unless it just decides, no. And then we'll check back in. Okay, so we made it. We made it to 5 hours. It happened. And I could definitely still smell this. I was worried a little bit, but when my cat started speaking, she had something to say. So you could definitely smell it still. And there was times that I was moving or I was like, okay, this is really nice. Like, I could definitely still smell this. And it's kind of course, it's a mix of the two. But on my skin, it's very light right now. But it's there. It's definitely there. And it's this beautiful sandalwood like floral scent is what I'm getting right now. And it's just really light and beautiful. Now I put on 4 sprays. I think if you really want it to have a little bit more oomph, you probably would need to do about 6 sprays. Or if you like a very light, very like lightly present kind of scent, then 4 would work for you, because I could definitely still smell it. It's just this kind of a scent. It's like a hug scent or somebody leaning in. It's very much that, and it's beautiful. It really is actually really quite lovely. So we're gonna try it again here. Yeah, it's that beautiful. The florals are getting harder to distinguish what they are, but there's this beautiful floral mixed with sandalwood. And it's just glorious. It's just beautiful. But I'm a sucker for sandalwood. And the thing is, there's a little bit of a musky scent. Now, my body loves musks. There are no musks in this, but it does have saffron. And saffron does kind of, after a while, get musky on me. That's same thing with cumin. Well, cumin's just cumin. But cumin, saffron, and those musks of any kind really come out on me. But the difference is on this, if you were like me, chemistry-wise, it mixes in perfectly. Yeah, it's just beautiful. It adds just a little bit of hint of something interesting to it. So it's not just one note. Very, very pretty. But let's try it on the clothing. Okay, on the clothing, that saffron is a lot more pronounced. And the sandalwood isn't as sweet. There isn't as much floral. I'm getting woodsy with saffron still. Yeah, there's a little bit of sweetness to the wood, not as much as on my own chemistry or when I initially sprayed it. So it's wood with a tiny bit of sweetness and saffron. The flowers don't come out as much here. A little bit, but not as much. It's more of a chemistry thing. And I will say that I think it's very much a skin scent now. Here it's definitely locked in a little bit more. The sandalwood is very much there to add that sweetness. The wood is there, but the florals are very light, and it has more of that saffron is more present. So it's a little bit more of a bitter note to it than what is on my chemistry. I think I tend to like what's on the clothing with me sometimes a little bit more, because my chemistry, like everybody's, can be tricky depending what comes out on you. I think I prefer what is on the chemistry a little bit more, or when I move and they're mixed together, because it just evens it out to this beautiful sweet sandalwood with a little bitter, it's not bitterness, but a little bit of that earthiness and the florals coming through. It's just beautiful, and a little bit of that muskiness from that saffron. I think I far prefer that compared to this. Not that it's bad, I just feel like this is just, I don't know, it's just delicious on the chemistry. It really is. it's really quite beautiful. It's just extremely gentle, and at times, even after an hour and a half, it didn't come through as much as I personally would like, but that's just me. I think it's beautiful. So I could see this being more of like a late spring, summer scent, early fall. It's very light, very, depending how the saffron pulls on you, very clean, happy scent. I do like it. Yes, but if you pull those bitter notes out, it may be a little bit more challenging for certain people. So again, always get a sample. Your chemistry is going to be different than mine, so you never know. You also never know what your nose is going to pull out. Everybody's different, so there you go. But yes, so if we were going to seasonally, like I said, I definitely put it the seasons I listed, but you can wear whatever you want when you want. Same thing when it comes to, is it more masculine, feminine? Everything's unisex. It's our world. Do what you want. Go. I mean, legally, and don't hurt other people. But I mean, nobody cares. It's a perfume. It's really not that serious. So, I think this truly is kind of a gender neutral. Like, if I could see how some, depending how it pulls on you, could be a little bit more of that sweet woodsy with the floral. Then yeah, you know, some may say that's more feminine, but I really see this just mid. Like, it's for everyone. Yay! So there you go. So if I were going to rate 10, 15, it's tough because this is right up my alley. Those florals and sandalwood are just absolutely delightful. I love what's on my chemistry, but smelling it closely, but you wouldn't normally do that. So I'm torn, because if it had a little bit better longevity and sillage, I think I would definitely give this one higher. But because it doesn't really have that, it is so lovely though. I think I would give this one a 6.8 out of 10. And I think it's just a performance issue. And I don't care for it on the clothing as much as I do on my chemistry. So I'd probably just spray it on my chemistry. But that being said, it's pretty light on the chemistry. I could definitely smell it. Like there, I can smell it. So it's there. So you just want to put it on your pulse points or behind the neck and things if you like the scent of what it is on your skin like I do. You know, I would boost it up a little bit with a few more sprays and things. But I think it's pretty light. It's pretty light. And I like a little bit, a fragrance with a little bit more substance. But that's just me. That is just me. So it's fantastic. If it just had a little bit more of that boost, that sillage, I think I definitely would have given this definitely like a 7.5. It's beautiful. Sandalwood, I'm sold. But still, the performance issues are what knocked it down a bit. But still, absolutely beautiful. It's just a beautiful scent. And of course, just know you may like light scents and go, screw you. I love it. This is a 10. So always know that's just me. I like to rate things. And it's completely based off of my preferences. So there you go. So the next one we're going to be going to is Sweet Leaf. That one is the next one. I have no clue. I'm hoping it's tea. I would love it if it was tea based or something interesting. I love tea scents. I really do. They're some of my faves lately. So I'm hoping it's something like that. But Sweet Leaf, it could be something else. I mean, it is rock and roll. So there you go. So with that, have a fabulous day, my friends. Bye.